Well, wanted to thank everyone who came to this evening. I think this is going to be just a wonderful event. Being able to experience Ray and to have him in our lives and all, and then to have this special moment to look back on what he's done for us and what it feels like to be with him and his friends. I know Jan and I have really been looking forward to this, and we're so thankful that so many of you could make it. So I did want to introduce Susan and Alex for joining us. We didn't know how things were going to go with COVID, and being able to do something like this. As we said to most of you, Ray made it clear he didn't really want to put anyone in any danger, and so we were really happy that we're able to do this, and that it makes it easier for us to interact with Susan and Alex. How are you guys doing?
Uh, Best I can.
Yeah. Okay. And Susan, I know you're out there. You don't have to say anything, but we're really happy that you're here, so that we can just tell you how important that man was to us. So
Thank you. Thank you very
absolutely.
much.
So, and now there's another guy out there who's going to be joining me tonight. He's actually the comedic element
Well,
of
did
the
Susan
evening.
or Alex want to say anything or before we
Yeah.
start?
No. Okay.
Alex?
We're good.
I'll say a couple words.
That'd be great.
Just want to say thank you for everybody for this opportunity. Sorry, this is gonna be hard for me.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, I haven't seen my dad in a few months. Um, so sorry. Um, so I never be able to hear his voice again. Um, and I'm also dealing with a lot of other tragic things in my life right now. Um, I've never had a chance to really process my dad dying yet. My girlfriend's was in a car accident. She's been in the ICU for a month. Um, I'm actually here at my godfather's right now. He's dying. He's got 3 days left. So I have a lot of emotions, but today's right now it's going to be about my dad, and I just want to say thank you and can't wait to hear these stories and songs. And one thing about my dad, he always had jokes.
Yes, he
Susan, I
did.
know you can agree with that. He always had jokes, and hopefully some of you guys could tell me some funny jokes he told you guys. So that being said, the floor is for you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're so pleased that you could join us, the both of you. It's a real pleasure, and I expect there'll be some jokes because while Jan thinks that I'm not funny, I think I'm very funny. Don't you?
No.
Yeah.
No? Oh, all right. Well, we'll do what we can. But somebody who's really funny is my co-host for this evening. Let me introduce Rob Lincoln.
Thank you, Rusty. I don't know if I'm in a funny mood, but I hopefully will have some fun remembering an incredible guy. But what we want to do tonight really is give everybody a chance to share their memories of Ray and allow people to give a song for Ray. Ray, of course, was a really wonderful songwriter. A lot of the songs today will be songs that people wanted to present tonight because were either songs that Ray liked or from performers that he liked, or songs that kind of fit the mood. But there'll be at least one or two Ray songs as well. And I actually will try to do a Ray song at the end if there's enough time. That's somewhat of a fun song of his, although it's not one of his funniest fun songs. He has some great fun songs. But right now we want to kind of tonight, when Alex reached out to me, he mentioned how much music meant to Ray and how much the community meant. So we want the community now to kind of talk about what Ray meant to them. We'll learn some more sides of Ray tonight. I knew Ray for 45 years, 35 years. And maybe at some point I'll share a few memories, but we're going to start, I think, very appropriately. And at any point, anyone here can speak if they want. The songs, we want to kind of have that organized, but as far as what people want to say, this is for everybody to speak at any time. But we are going to start off appropriately with a song that was written by Ray, and I know he was so excited. I was going back and looking at my old emails from Ray, and he actually was asking for the link because he wanted to come to the show where Maura was going to perform it on Zoom. So Maura Levine, you now will get to perform that to everyone else's song he so much appreciated hearing.
Thanks, Rob. And I want to say a couple of words before I sing about what Ray meant to me. Ray supported so many people in this community. And when I was first starting out, I supported other people musically. And I think I got a little pushback. I didn't write songs, didn't play an instrument. And Ray did not care. He loved my music. He promoted my music on the radio. And he had a show called The Performing Songwriter, and he had a special episode that he had myself and Dan Schatz come on, and he called it The Performing Song Interpreter. He was very respectful of my work and encouraging. He helped me at a workshop that I did for the Philadelphia Folk Song Society co-op members about promoting your music to folk radio. And he gave a lot of input, and he was there with me for that workshop, which some of you may have attended, and he was very supportive always. So he meant so much to me. And when I was invited to do the PASA concert, again, since I'm not a songwriter, I appreciate that Rob and Heidi have me as an honorary member, and I cover PASA song members. So I listened carefully to a number of records, and as soon as I heard this song, It's All Right to Fall in Love, ? I knew that I really wanted to sing it. And I reached out to Ray and I said, I really would love to sing this song for the PASA concert. Can you just give me a guitar track? And he went one step further and he found a program. It scrubbed out the two vocalists, his vocal and the woman that was singing with him, so that I had the actual track from the album to use for the performance. And that's very special. So what you're going to hear is me singing his song along with the actual track from the album. And it's a little muffled because the program, I think, dampens a little bit of something, but it's very special. And I also said I would never want to sing love songs because I had a bad breakup some years back. But the song was hopeful, and I felt that I wanted to sing it. So it's called All Right to Fall in Love, ? And I don't think everyone is muted. Rusty and Jan, you might
right. I'm going to mute everybody, and then I'll have you unmute yourself, and then you can start.
Okay.
You might want to add that if anyone wants to say something, just tell us in the comments.
Right. Tell us in the comments if you want to say something. But I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and then Mara, you can unmute yourself. Okay, Mara, you can unmute yourself.
See if I can get the tech to work. Can you hear that, Rusty and Jan? The music? I can see it in your eyes, but I don't know if it's too wise. I'm not sure that I should fall in love again. It's true that I would miss the sweetness of your kiss. Maybe it's just better if we're friends. And I wish that I could find a simple sign that someone would be kind enough to send a message from above that it's all right to fall in love. It's all right to fall in love.
again. I've been in love before, then he walked right out the door. Now I'm kind of weary of it all. Love is so uncertain that I'm even scared of flirting. I'd rather be alone than risk a fall. When the heart is broken and the reasons go unspoken, I know it's hard to comprehend that nothing is for certain. Now I guess I'm finally learning that sometimes forever has an end. And I love it when your head's upon my shoulder. I love the thought that we'd be side by side. Maybe it would work, 'cause we're both older. Who knows? It might be worth a try. I can see it in your eyes, but I don't know if it's too wise. I'm not sure if I should fall in love again. It's true that I would miss the sweet taste of your kiss. Maybe it's just better that we're friends. And I wish that I could find a simple sign. Someone would be kind enough to send a message from above that it's all right to fall in love. It's all right to fall in love again. A message from above that it's all right to fall in love. It's all right to fall in love again. And that is...
Yeah, all right.
That was
Well, I
beautiful, Mara.
Can't think of a better way to open up an event like this and with a beautiful voice like that. Thank you so much, Mara.
By the way, that's
Thank you
one of
for
my
inviting.
favorite songs from.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful song by Ray.
Yeah. So is there anybody out there has a story or something they'd like to say at this point? Just
It could be a
go
few
ahead.
words. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
an anecdote. It could just be a few things you
Anything.
want to share.
Well, so this is Marion, and I'm just so glad to be able to join for a little bit. I have to break off here, but I just want to thank you all for this moment and all the moments that preceded this. Some of the reflections that people on this call wrote about Ray took my breath away. I can't imagine a person who meant more to me on my musical journey as it started out in Philadelphia than Ray. And I may be 1,000 miles away now in Kentucky, but I'm just so grateful to Ray and to everything he represents about what's best in our songwriting community and the support and love for each other. So that's all I need to say. I did put a little post up on my Facebook page tonight because as I was walking today, I was listening to several of Ray's songs online and thinking how grateful I am that we have these recordings of Ray and also all those wonderful episodes on YouTube of the performing songwriter. So anyway, I love you all and thank you for doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, we're very fortunate and want to thank you. One of the great things that we have now is that this beautiful community that we all are able to enjoy so much includes people that are actually in Kentucky. It's just amazing. We have the technology that we can all stay together like this. So,
Good point. Good one.
yes, exactly. So, now you're okay as a result of tornadoes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I appreciate there's a lot of community here. And in the last day or so, I've gotten tons of phone calls. And I was a few hours east of the tornadoes. We had some bad weather, but nothing like what they had in Western Kentucky. So let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers. It's devastating.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Well, I think Jeanette and Steve are out there. No, it's not.
Terry Ravel, isn't it?
Terry Ravel. Oh, my God. That guy's getting in everywhere.
Hang on a second here. You get it up.
Okay.
All right. Give us just a minute to make room for Terry here.
It takes him a little while, you know.
It takes him a while to get up.
Shut up. I'm just gonna...
So we have a group that goes beyond Philadelphia here. Obviously, we have Kentucky, and I know that we have people from other states. So maybe at the very least, at some point, maybe they'll mention where they're tuning in. I think that would be meaningful, and it's another way of kind of seeing that Ray not only helped build a community here in Philadelphia for music, but also had a lot of connections throughout the folk world and throughout this, particularly the Northeast region of the country.
Rob, I'd like to say something.
Yes,
Can you hear
please.
me? Okay.
Yes, please.
Hi, Randy Shapir, Gaslight Productions. Ray was very important to me in the early days of Gaslight Productions. He, again, generous is the word that comes to my mind every time I think about Ray. When I was getting my website together and trying to decide how best to promote almost everybody who's here tonight, I mean, has some connection to the Philadelphia Folk Festival. And that's where all of my musicians came from in Gaslight Productions. So when I heard about Ray and his Performing Songwriters Network, I said, wow, this is really cool. Could I use I was fascinated by the technology that he used to create this, the Performing Songwriters Network show. And I contacted him, and he was so generous. He sent me a 3-page, single-spaced, small font treatise on how to do what he did with the Performing Songwriters show, and it was very helpful for me. And then later on, because I knew he had such good video editing skills, I asked him to edit a raw video that somebody had made of Michael, Ted, and Ken, Michael London, Ted Jordan, and Ken Ulansey. And he worked wonders, and it became a promo that got them several gigs with Gaslight Productions. So I first met Ray at a church in East Falls. He was performing there with good old Liz Rader, who I miss greatly. Liz Rader and I created the Performing Songwriters Network back around the time that I met Ray at that church. And he was so funny. He talked at that performance about how he had under his bed, and he wrote a song, I believe it was a song, about how under his bed he had boxes of CDs. He had created these CDs, these recordings, and unfortunately, a lot of them were under his bed in boxes. I loved Ray. He was funny. He was kind. I miss him.
Thank you, Randy. That kind of is a feeling many of us share. And, I do remember that song. I think a lot of us have heard that. We have people, as I mentioned, they mentioned in the chat, someone is here from NERFA, New York, and maybe he'll say hi to us after a song from Terry, and I think that we'll continue with some stories and some memories as well. So I know, Terry, you have something special you want to share with us tonight?
Yes. Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. So glad so many people came out to this tonight. I've known Ray a long time, too, like many of you, and he's been quite a mentor to me and such a great promoter of so many songwriters and performers, and he's been a good friend of mine. Probably, I think the first time I met him was like when he came down to the Perimeter, maybe in the early 80s when Andini was running it. And so we've shared a lot of good times together, and he's had me on the program so many times. And I thought I would do this song because if it were not for Ray, I would have not have written this song. And we were walking around the campground of the Philly Folk Fest, and I'm pretty sure it was 1993. It was probably 4 o'clock in the morning. And we just encountered a bunch of people jamming along the road in the campground. And I wrote about the one woman that I met there who, ironically, is someone who was good friends with Bill Staines, who also just passed away. And so Ray and I were just hanging out, walking along, and I kind of, I kind of thought this song would be appropriate too, because maybe Ray is watching all over us, kind of like an angel in the darkness of this pandemic and all the depths of despair and sadness, and now all those tornadoes and everything that affected so many people's lives. So I thought I would do this song for Ray. I think he had played it on his show a couple times, so Jan's going to help me. Angel in darkness, night black as coal. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her in my soul. Walked along a smoky trail, late on a folk festival night, feeling so damn lonely, wanting to jam before the light. Then I came upon some pickers, had my guitar began to play, and they all began singing when this angel came our way. She's an angel in darkness, night black as coal. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her in my soul. Her face and shadow in the darkness said she loved the song I wrote. Her silhouette against the campfires, she hung on every note. We parted ways at the dawn, after she sang one more song. But I'll never lose the feeling, wished I could take that angel home. She's an angel in darkness, night black is cold. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her in my soul. Sometimes at night I see her walking along a smoky campground trail, her guitar around her shoulders, seems like some old fairy tale. Days turn years, now I see her at a crowded room where she sings. Still I can't see her face, or all the love that she brings. She's an angel in darkness, loneliness gets old. I can't see her face, she is there in my soul. I can't see her face, she is there in my soul.
Yeah. So Terry,
thank you, everyone.
Very, very nice. Terry, I believe that I saw you and Ray and Dave Miller that same night walking around at 4 a.m. at the folk festival. I distinctly remember the three of you walking together. That was about 1982 or something like that.
Well, that was 93 that when that happened, but we were probably walking around many times.
Lots of folk festivals. Okay.
I think that was the latest he would stay up, you know, and we just strolled around and encountered all these people, and you couldn't see their faces because of the they were like silhouettes in front of the campfires.
Well, Ray loved the folk festival, and
and we know Ray did too.
Yeah, absolutely. He told me the last long conversation I had with Ray was it was in 2017 at the folk festival. We both played that year, and we were in the tent. We were having some interesting conversations, but I thought there'd be maybe I'll tell you about the conversation later. It was somewhat funny, but we won't do that yet. But basically, the segue I'm going towards, and I'm going to kind of segue between the songs, and then Rusty is going to introduce each of the performers. We're going to try to get more people to talk and even just say hello. We're very much grateful that the Philadelphia Folk Song Society promoted this event, and they were very much loved Ray. I know Ray said he planned on being there every 20 years, and he had gone there in 97 and in 2017. We have somebody from NERFA who was a major. He was a past president. I don't know him personally, but I've heard his name, and I know that Ray would be very honored that you're here, Michael. I'm hoping you can just say hello, and if you have anything to share, you would.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Kornfeld. I'm coming to you from Huntington, Long Island, New York. I did not know Ray as well as many of you did. I had met him and spoken with him at the Philly Folk Festival in 2017, but also had spoken with him and been in contact with him over the years because I do some promotion for independent artists and labels. And Ray had been a real champion of singer-songwriters, and as Mara said, of her and others who interpret songs as well. And he was very supportive and featured a number of the artists on his show that I had introduced him to. So it was a big loss for our community.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. It shows, Ray's contacts and friends really extended even beyond Philadelphia. And for those of you who don't know, NERFA is the premier organization for folk music in the United States, and NERFA stands for Northeast Regional Folk Alliance. So the Folk Alliance is the premier organization, and they're the Northeast chapter. So before we go into the next person that Rusty will introduce you to, is there anybody else right now that would like to just say a few words? Okay. What I'll do, I'll warn people, Ray also had a connection to Melalani, so one of the Melalani regulars is going to have to say a few words about Ray in a few minutes, but There's a couple of you there, I know. But beyond that, we're going to just keep going. That if no one wants to say anything during this round, and Ray and Rusty's now going to introduce someone else who's going to.
We're fortunate we have the other Philadelphia-bound recording couple available to us tonight that knew Ray real well. We have Jeanette and Steve Pearlswig. Hey, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi there. Hi.
Okay. I'm going to mute everybody, then you can unmute yourself and introduce your song, okay?
Okay. Hi. So I want to talk about when I was close with Ray, and this goes back, I think it goes back to the early 90s, and I think that some of the people on this video screen will remember what I'm talking about here. But Ray put out a publication called the Open Mic Monitor. And the funny thing about this publication was that the first issue, Ray even joked about it, even like maybe it was like less than a year ago when I did see him in Malilani, that the first issue was like volume 3, issue number 4 or something strange like that. And Ray laughed and said, that was the first one. And I said, oh, I was so into it. I mean, I subscribed to it. It was like 2 pages or 4 pages. It gave you a list of all the open mics. And back then, I had no other way to know about these open mics. It opened up my whole world. One of the popular open mics that Ray and I would show up at was the Grape Street Pub. Nick Everett sponsored that open mic. And eventually, over at the Point, we made our way over there and spent time. I know Pat, was involved with that. I don't know. This publication lasted maybe a few years. It was a strange publication. It was funny. So he always had a featured artist. He would inject his humor, which was ridiculously funny and subtle, into this magazine or publication that would come out irregularly. Like you would get it, and then maybe you got one 2 weeks later, and then you might not see one for 3 or 4 months, and he would have funny things to say about why it was so irregular and so erratic. But I would say to Ray, you know what, Ray, I'm a lifetime subscriber to Rolling Stone, and I read other issues, and I said, your publication is my favorite publication. I would tell him that because it was true. I was making it up into the Allentown area. There was a mic open mic in Bethlehem. I made it down to Delaware. I would follow his, and he would tell you how many songs you get, who the host is. He gave you every bit of information that you could want. That was the main part of the the little publication. Does anybody remember the Open Mic Monitor? Do I see any hands at all?
Jefferson.
Yeah, this was, and now I go online today to see if I could find one, and it's not there. There's nothing. There's no record of it. Yeah. Oh my God, it was so great. But
we'll have to see what we can find. Yeah, that was important.
That was really great. Rusty, do you remember that? Do you remember the publication?
I absolutely do, and and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that was one of the things that was most important about him, is he made all the mistakes for us. He went out and he canvassed. He found out where the open mics were. He pressed the flesh. He found out who the players were, and he developed. And let me just be very clear about this. He developed the community that we all enjoyed today because he brought the organization to it. And he brought us all together at the venues that he found. So there's no way that we could have what we have today had it not been for the things that Ray had done 25 years ago or more.
That's exactly right. In fact, at these open mics, I would see Ray sometimes, but I also saw other people that were following the same publication.
Sure.
And it was creating a community of people. And Ray was funny. Ray did Phil Oakes covers like nobody ever did Phil Oakes covers. He just had it in him to be that gentle, that voice that he had. He was perfect for it, and he knew it. And if there was one person he covered well, it was Phil Oakes, I thought. And so, anything else?
Yeah, why are we doing this song?
Well, we're doing this song because Ray did encourage original songs, and while I was doing my tour through all these open mics, I was writing with a songwriting partner. We had a 10-year stint where we were writing songs together. And this was my favorite song of all that 10 years, and Ray heard me play it, I'm sure, many times at the Grape Street and other open mics. So we're going to do this together, Jeanette and I.
That's why we're doing it.
It also happens to be the song that made it possible for me to really...
I fell in love with him over this song. It's true.
It's true. All right. It's called Trust Without Regret.
The sparks begin to fly. There's nothing that they will not try. Together their world seems right.
Time passes,
no place for them to go.
They want to
return to life alone.
Now or never.
Why can't they see the light?
Trust is their next step. It's what they need. Trust without regret. And there is no guarantee that when they open up, they will not get hurt. This is how life works. Leap of faith.
What true love takes.
These two stayed and worked things out
before it was
too late.
Years later, the sparks no longer fly. They struggle to understand just why their lives have grown apart.
One evening, the tears begin to flow. They're ready to let each other go, though they vow until death do us part. Trust is their next step. It's what they need. Trust without regret. And there is no guarantee that when they open up, they will not get hurt. This is how life works.
Trust is our next step. It's what we need. Trust without regret. And there is no guarantee that when we open up, we will not get hurt.
This is how life works. Take a risk, there's much to learn. Trust and hope returns.
It was very
wonderful. Well, I would just interject a story that might be topical for right now. You know, the point when Ray was running the open mic, and everybody knew that Dandy Kimball was running it, but Ray was doing all the work. And it was a place where everybody would go, and you would see national acts come through, and you'd just be rubbing elbows with people. I remember one time I was there, and all of a sudden across the room I saw Peter Tork from the Monkees. I ran over to him, and I said, "You're Peter Tork." And then I realized how foolish I was to say it, because I said, "I guess you hear that all the time." He said, "Don't worry about it. It's fine." And so I went over to Steve Pearlswig, and I said, "Look over there. You know who that is?" I said, that's Peter Tork. And Steve ran over to him, and he said, "You're Peter Tork."
What was really funny about that was that he was playing at a hole in the wall, the Rusty Nail, at the time.
Yeah. Well, just other people that Ray would bring together with his projects. There's no question about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray had a lot of different interests in music, and a little later maybe we'll talk about some of the things outside music. One of the things as Stephen and Jeanette were playing, it reminded me how much Ray really promoted original music. Of course, singer-songwriters like Steve who recorded one of his originals on a Pasa CD, and Ray did a lot for Pasa. But I wanted to segue back to Phil Ochs for a second, because there was actually more than one Phil Ochs event that he helped create. The last one that I'm aware of, I wasn't at, but I saw some of you at it, and I wonder if one of you can share that moment. It was at Milani's about 3 or 4 years ago. I know that I saw a live stream from there. Was any of you at that Phil Ochs event that Ray was part of? Milani's?
I'm not sure if I was. I know I had been part of an event like that at the Barrington Coffee House. I think he did Phil Ochs nights there, and probably a few other places as well. Yeah, but he was definitely the advocate for Phil Ochs and represented him very well.
His voice had a similarity to Phil's. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Ray ran Phil Ochs workshops at Fall Fling and Spring Thing. I always went to those, so it was really great that there would always be a nice chunk of Phil Ochs songs that Ray would make sure to be played at those events.
Well, it really does bring up something, that there are different people in our community that give us a special gift. Becky Davidson being one of those people that allow us to hear the music that we heard when we were 18 and 19, the way it was presented to us back then. Ray was able to be Phil Ochs for us in a way that we could experience Phil Ochs, and there's only a few people who have the ability to do that, and he was definitely one of them.
Definitely. And later in this evening, we will hear at least one Phil Ochs song, and at least one more of Ray's. But I know that we're going to have another song now, Rusty. And just want to make sure, anybody feel like talking before we get into the next song? Anybody would like to share something? Thought or feeling? Yes. Okay, unmute. It's Barry and Carol. Unmute. Can you unmute them, Jan, if they can't, or have them unmute?
I cannot actually unmute them.
I think Barry. I think you're going to.
There you go. I think I have
Carol.
it now.
You got it.
Great,
We hear you now.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to say I attended many Ray Naylor concerts over the years, and one thing I really appreciated was how he kept Phil Ochs' music alive after Phil passed on. And I've really enjoyed people singing his songs tonight. And I hope that you all will continue to sing his songs and keep Ray's songs also alive.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
definitely.
well, they're certainly wonderful songs.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Well, we have another song from another another singer-songwriter. His name is Jefferson Berry. Been around for a long time. You out there, Jefferson?
Yeah, I am. Geriatric, huh? So, right. I mean, like many of you, I got to know Ray at the festivals and, be in a song circle with him. And if you know Ray and you know me, we're not necessarily the people who normally mix, but he was there and I would say, okay, well, that's cool. But then I go to an open mic at the Main Point and there he was again. And Spring Thing, there he is. Open mic at the Grape. Ray Naylor, you're just everywhere. So Philadelphia Folk Festival. I mean, I had to have been at, I don't know, a couple dozen folk festivals with Ray. Just not together, but we were there, and we put out when my band put out a record at the beginning of the pandemic. I sent it to him, and he gave it all kinds of support. And one of the songs on that record was the one I'm going to play now. It has to do with this whole lifestyle of what we do when we're writing songs and going to folk festivals. Out in the field where we played all night, out on the horizon, early morning light. Each of us came with what we've been working on, beautiful arrangements, interesting songs, ladies with ukuleles, and babies now all grown, singing songs of their own. Oh, what a time living at the festival. I'm feeling alright, right here on the farm. Oh, what a night, singing at the festival, beyond the main stage lights, underneath the summer stars, underneath the summer stars. Yeah. The day trippers left at 1:45. They miss most of the best of this festival's fun. A little bit of homegrown, sprang up here and there. Jimmy fired up the kitchen, gathered chairs, patiently waiting for our next turn. Someone called the changes for a song that we could learn. Oh, what a time living at the festival, feeling alright, right here on the farm. Oh, what a night, singing at the festival, beyond the main stage lights, underneath the summer stars, underneath the summer stars. Yeah. Our stories were shared, staring into the fire. Someone passed the wine, the songs took us higher. More the players, everyone had their fun. Another summer of love, a long way from home. Nobody had to say goodnight, just fade into the shadows, knowing everything's alright. Oh, what a time living at the festival, feeling alright, right here on the farm. Oh, what a night, singing at the festival, beyond the main stage lights, underneath the summer stars, underneath the summer stars. Oh, underneath the summer stars. Yeah.
Wow, what an appropriate song,
Lovely.
Jefferson. Yes.
Beautiful, Jefferson.
You know, Ray really loved the Philadelphia Folk Festival so much, and as I said, I remember seeing him there and talking to him there. And what an appropriate time for the executive director of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society that runs the Philadelphia Folk Festival. He is here tonight, and I'm going to surprise him. I don't think he had a speech or anything, but maybe he can just say hello and maybe say a few words about Ray. Justin Wardell.
I would love to. Ray Naylor was somebody that I knew of before I took the job as the executive director, just because he's such a part of this community, and he always will be. But upon taking the job as executive director, I really got to meet Ray more than Ray the musician and meet Ray the advocate. Ray was an advocate for artists, an advocate for musicians, an advocate for folk music. an incredible storyteller and songwriter in his own right. He gave up opportunities for other people time and time again, things that people don't even know. There was one time when we had a one act that only could take a specific slot at NERFA, and that was the slot Ray had already been assigned. And so, I said, oh, well, could you do this or this? And Ray said, you know what? I don't need to play. I want to make sure that this act gets that slot. I'm just going to come in and cheer them on at that time. And that's great. And I was able to find a spot for him eventually, but he did that not even thinking that he was going to get anything out of it. He was selfless time and time again throughout this community. And he's somebody that I just always adored and appreciated. And also, I think we need to just say, the taste level. Ray had a great taste level. He really had a phenomenal ear, and really, really saw talent and really put it up and lifted it up in our community. And he is just someone that I think all of us are just going to continue to miss.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So very good. Yeah, and some big shoes to fill at that. So but we will go on and keep his dream alive. Absolutely. So
next is Kitty Campbell. Is Kitty out there?
Kitty. Well, everybody knows Kitty because Kitty's everywhere. She's a lot like Ray that way. If she's not if she's not getting ready to do the open mic, she's at the door collecting money. So that's Kitty's one of those people that's in our organization that really helps to pull us all together, and it inspires me. I'll tell you that. So Kitty, what do you got?
Well, I didn't know Ray well or anything. I ran into him at the Mermaid. Mostly I would see him, and he made me laugh with his songs. They were so funny. The one about the books under the bed and everything.
Tapes under the bed. Yeah.
The tapes under the bed. He wrote very funny songs, and I love Phil Oakes too, so I heard a lot of his Phil Oakes things too. So this is one that I wrote called Till Tomorrow, and the first line is from Patsy Cline. Her journal, she said, we're always here together till tomorrow. And it made me write a song. At the time, I had some deaths in the family and some split ups and that kind of thing. So, and I understand that he believed in original music. So, we're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. I know you think the one you're loving will be there till the end of time, 'cause you always thought forever when he said, I want you for mine. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. Now the way I feel about me and you, it's written in the book of love. Something everybody's after, but it comes on wings of a dove. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. You can sing it out till the sun ain't shining, waiting for a better day. Or you can shout about it to the moon above, seeking love, you'll find a new way. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leave me wondering what there is to say. You can can sing it out till the sun ain't shining, waiting for a better day. Or you can shout about it to the moon above, making love will find a new way. You know we're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. Leaves me wondering what there is to say.
That's great.
Thank you, Kitty. That's a very appropriate song. We're all together tonight, and I guess we're kind of joyful that we all knew Ray, but it's certainly sorrowful as well. I think that there's a lot of thoughts going through a lot of our heads right now. I mean, one of the things, if you see me, by the way, if you see me looking at my phone, it's not because I'm disinterested. I'm constantly sending links to more people asking me. So we're having more and more people join us. We're now at 43. I think that as we move on tonight, you're going to hear, obviously, as I mentioned, you'll hear some Phil Oakes songs and at least one more from Ray. But I want to make sure that everyone not only gets a chance to talk about what Ray meant to him and musically, if there's anything that family members or friends of Ray who are not music friends would like to share with us about Ray. I mean, I know Ray did so much for music, but he was more than just a musician. He was more than even just an advocate of music. He was a magician. That was the first time I ever saw Ray, is he was doing a magic trick at the Bothy Folk Club. And that was really kind of blew my mind. I had never seen somebody come on for an open chair and do a magic trick. But he then did a song after that, and it was definitely a funny song. So if anyone, I don't want anyone to feel left out. If there are people here who are not music friends that would want to share something else about Ray at this time, this might be a good time to do that.
I know that Debbie Ansell had some stories she wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
She there?
She is here somewhere.
You there, Debbie?
One of the wonderful things Ray did was called the Open Mic Monitor. Does anyone remember the Open Mic Monitor? Yeah. I still have a copy of it somewhere. I will dig it up and bring it the next time we all get together. It was a wonderful thing that he did to, because the mid-90s open mic thing was just exploding in popularity. And he would go around and check them out and, let you know what they each had to offer. And that was just one of his many kindnesses. But anyway, a couple stories I want to tell. The Open Circle started in the mid-90s and actually ran for 26 years. But at its height of popularity, the mid-80s, height of popularity was in the 80s and the 90s. And it was in the side room of the Mermaid that has been renovated since. But it used to be just a big circle of chairs and a room to sit on the rug in the middle of the chairs. And it would get really crowded. All the chairs would be full. There would be people sitting at every conceivable space on the floor and a couple people leaning against doorways. It was just really, people loved it. Sometimes it would be 50 people or more there. So on a really crowded night, you only got one chance to do, you got one song or story, whatever you were doing. Anyway, one of the things I appreciated so much about Ray was his very sharp and quick wit. So I rarely, if ever, missed a circle. Yeah. And Ray would often come and we'd sit next to each other. And someone would be about to do their song, and Ray, this happened several times, Ray would lean over and whisper a killer one-liner in my ear. And I would just want to explode. It was so hysterical. And there I was stifling the hell out of myself because I didn't want to ruin somebody's night because it was their only chance to do a song. And I couldn't do that to them. But Ray did that to me several times. I said, Ray, you got to stop that. You're going to affect my health, you know? The other thing I remember is one time Terry was driving, and Ray and Terry and I were all going carpooling to the same place together. And that was back when, and this might still be true. Terry, if you want to speak up, here's your chance. But Terry was big into stopping at the Wawa for a hoagie or a sandwich, you know. So we were going wherever it was. It's been too many years, I don't remember where. And Terry said, you know, I'm getting kind of hungry. And Ray said to him, well, Terry, don't worry. If we're anywhere near a Wawa, your car will take you there and it will automatically turn into the driveway. I'll never forget that. That's my story.
Well told. Well told, Terry says.
Those are sweet stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah, so Jack and...
Oh, he was wonderful.
Thank you, dear. That's great. Well, we have some other music performers coming up. Another duo. It's like we have so many duos tonight, Jan.
I know, right?
Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
Yes, that's what people want to hear, duos. And these are guys I'm sure that Ray helped out a lot because they put out quite a few CDs and they're really pushing their music. So this is a chance to hear Last Chance.
Yes, Jack and Ingrid, are you out there?
We are here. We are here.
Hey.
There we go.
Just briefly, we met Ray. We used to host an open mic at the Community Arts Center. And we didn't know Ray. Ray came to our open mic and introduced himself and played some music. And he sought us out. At the time, he told us he had an internet TV show, and he asked us if we'd like to perform on it, and we did. He interviewed us on his radio show back then. Wonderful guy. And I remember we ran into him at the spring thing one time, and it was one of these evenings when there were a number of performers were all scheduled and locked in to perform, and we showed up early. Ray showed up early, and there was the audience was there, and whoever was supposed to go on first and second and third didn't show up. So the MC said, "Who wants to go up?" And of course, Ray said, "Well, I'll go up." So Ray went up and performed first. We went up and performed second because we were scheduled to be number 14 or something. But I'll never forget that Ray always wanted to play just like we did. And we felt like we had that common ground with Ray. Wonderful guy. Miss him a lot. And we're very honored to be able to be a part of this show.
We're going to do a song that Jack wrote. It's called Wouldn't You Know? Wouldn't you know how fast the time flies when the fun is running strong, and the summer seems to fade like the last chorus of a song. It was so late in arriving, now it seems so soon to go. Nothing left to show, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know how fast your life flies and the days of running strong, when your youth just seems to fade like the last chorus of a song? It was so sweet all the while. Now it seems so soon to go, so hard to let go, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know I thought it over, and there's nothing here so real as the fiddles and the melody of an old Virginia reel. And I sure do miss the staying, even as I rise to go. Still do love you so, wouldn't you know? It over, and there's nothing here so real as the fiddles and the melody of an old Virginia reel. And I sure do miss the staying, even as you rise to go. Still do love you so, wouldn't you know? Still do love you so, wouldn't you know?
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Very nice. So, you know, I know Last Chance, that was so beautiful. Last Chance was one of the many acts that Ray helped. I noticed some names here of people that I know were on his show that he supported their music. I can see Lisa, Jeanette, and Becca, and a few others as well. If anybody right now would like to speak, yes, here we go. Yes, Alex, yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a quick story. Since you mentioned that he used to do a lot of magic tricks. So when my dad adopted me, we lived down in East Falls. The one thing I always remember my dad, he had 5 doves for his show, for his magic show all the time. And it took up one of the rooms. And as a little kid, I always wondered, why are there doves in this room, Dad? And he used to tell me, I'm making money, son. I'm trying to make money. And I'd always crack up. And he told me the secret of how he does the tricks with the doves. But he always told me, never tell anybody. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you guys. I just wanted to share that because that's something I always remember about him.
That's great. That's great.
a great story.
And I guess you know the secret, so that's cool. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, we're real lucky because we have someone who actually wrote a song for your dad, which I'm really looking forward to hearing. We have Matthew Ryan out there.
Tentatively titled "Whenever I Can," and I was playing the guitar when I learned of Ray's passing. I had seen a post from Rob Lincoln about a gathering that one of the first in-person gatherings for Pasa in a long time. It was supposed to occur out in Bryn Athyn. He said, it'll be somewhat of a sad occasion, and he mentioned Ray having passed. And then I began to see all these posts from all over, not just the Philadelphia area, but all over the East Coast. And I was just really, really amazed at how many people he had touched, like the other songwriting communities, like Summer Songs in upstate New York, NERFA, people like that. And I remembered having met Ray a long time before at the Bothy Folk Club when I was first starting to play and get out and play and write. And then I moved out of the area. I now live in Cape Bay, and I lost track with where I began to see his name surface was what he had been doing for internet, television, and radio. And I hope to have the occasion to play some original music for him. I guess that comes a little late, but that night I was playing a Phil Oakes song. And it just, inspiration struck me just to really honor Ray. The quality that everybody has talked about, how he really was so giving and reached out and encouraged people. I remember his song, An Open Stage Singer. This is the one song I distinctly remember from him. So I'll just stop yakking and start playing. Probably better off doing that. The autumn sun sets this evening. I hear birds by the shore. Their mournful cry reminds me that I may never hear your voice no more. You sang songs of freedom, songs of the common man, and I'll sing a song of joy for you, to remember you whenever I can. You never sang like an angel. You sang as we do. You sang a song without words to help us make it through. You sang songs of freedom, common man. I sing a song of joy for you, to remember you whenever I can. Your heart beats so loudly, so steady and so true, like a fading song that still lingers on. We'll carry on that beat for you. You sang songs of freedom, songs of the common man. I sing a song of joy for you, to remember you whenever I can. May John Prine greet you in heaven. Phil Oakes too. 40 years there, may he lead you where the angels will all sing for you. You sang songs of freedom, songs of the common man. I sing a song of joy for you, to remember you whenever I am.
Wow.
Wonderful. So nice.
Not too many people get songs written about them. That's very, very special there, Matthew. And Matthew, I'm sure the family and other friends of Ray would wonder where they can get that song. Do you have that song on YouTube, a link that you can put in the chat? Unmute yourself.
I have a recording on my phone. I can post it on YouTube, and I'd be glad to. I know I forwarded it to Alex because I had seen him post shortly afterwards, and I asked him first. I said before I posted it to him, I asked if he would like me to post, but I'll be glad to post it to other family members as well.
What happened?
Sure.
I think he's frozen.
That is
everybody
that is
frozen?
really a beautiful song, and I know a lot of us were touched by it.
Thanks. I was definitely moved by Ray.
Are we good?
Yeah.
We're super frozen. Is everybody else
We hear you guys. So we, as songwriters, that's the greatest. I think the greatest compliment is to both continue his songs as well as to write a song about him. That's wonderful. Right now, before we introduce two wonderful musicians, songwriters, is there anyone else right now, a music person or a non-music person, that would like to share a thought about Ray before we move on?
This is Ray's sister, Mary.
Hi,
Mary. Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's nice. You guys are doing wonderful, and we're really enjoying all the stories about Ray. Since you all enjoy his sense of humor, I thought I'd tell you a family sense of humor story. You probably all know Ray has kids. He's got 4 kids, a boy, another boy, and a set of twin boys. And when those twin babies were brand new, we went out to see my mom, and my brother held up one baby in his hand, and he had the head coming one way and the feet going the other way. And my mother said, "Raymond, that's no way to hold a baby." And he said, "It's all right, Mom, I got another one." He was always good for a story.
That's cute.
Your turn.
All righty. So me?
Okay.
Yes.
That is great, Mary. Sounds like classic Ray, and I'm sure he said a deadpan too.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he did.
Great deadpan delivery. Ray, I think a great testament to our next two performers is what Ray felt about him, is that he gave his musical baby, to these guys to carry on his show. And of course, I'm talking about Rusty and Jan, who are now going to do a song that they'll tell you about. But they obviously have worked closely with Ray, and Ray had obviously a lot of respect for them, as we all do, Rusty and Jan.
Just one thing I wanted to say. Ray was always willing to help anybody. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I did a charity event, a women's group charity event for abused women. And I asked him to come and live stream it for us at Melalani, and didn't even hesitate. He just jumped right in. And he was the only one at the time that knew how to do it. So he was always ahead of everybody else with that stuff. So.
For me, not only did I see him when I was trying to find my own way, it was always to follow his path. He was out there banging away and putting up with venue owners and bar people and all this stuff, and trying to find a way in the world for someone who just wants to go out there and sing songs. And so he was very inspirational to me, and I still don't understand or appreciate why he took such a liking to Jan and I, but he really changed our lives, and he continues to do it now, and we owe him a great gratitude, and we will do everything we can to keep his memory alive. So anyhow, we around the time the pandemic started, we found this song by John Prine, who was kind of reflecting on his career and looking back. And so if there is a song out there that would be written by a singer-songwriter reflecting on his many venues, I think this might be one that does it very well. So we didn't expect to be playing it for so many mournful occasions, but we're glad that we had it. So this is John Prine, I Remember Everything.
And it wound up being John Prine's last song, too.
Right. I've been down this road before. I remember every tree, every single blade of grass holds a special place for me. I remember every town, every hotel room, every song I ever sang on a guitar attitude. I remember everything, things I can't forget. The way it turned and smiled on me on the night that we first met. I remember every night, your ocean eyes of blue. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. I've been down this road before, alone as I can be, careful not to let my past go sneaking up on me. Got no future in my happiness, though regrets are very few. Sometimes a little tenderness was the best that I could do. I remember everything, those things I can't forget. Swimming pools and butterflies that slipped right through the net. I remember every night, your ocean eyes are blue. And how I miss the morning light, like roses miss the dew. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. Thank you, guys.
Rusty, I want to comment that Jeanette just made a comment, and
yeah,
that you're not afraid to let your emotions show when you perform.
No, he isn't.
Now, can you tell me how I can keep them under control? Because that's the bigger problem. You know?
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's an asset. I think it's beautiful.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Being able to do that, actually.
Thank you. Well, where are we?
Well, I think Rob is going to see if anybody else wants to do some talking.
Yeah, Rob.
Well, first of all, you gave me a lump in my throat there, Rusty, but I think I'm able to talk again. And, you know, we have a couple more performers that are going to pop on in a minute, but we want to make sure that if someone's on the fence and they're not sure whether they want to say something, even if you just say hello and that you're here, you know, feel free to do that. This is the time to say a few words or just simply that you're here. But we appreciate all the people here.
I have a question for the group.
Yeah. Was that somebody there? I think that was that Alex?
Yes, I have a question for the group.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
What do you guys talk about the Phil Oakes? What is that?
Okay, Phil Oakes was your father's favorite songwriter. He was a songwriter who lived, who was most famous during the 1960s, was a friend of Bob Dylan's. But he, unlike Bob Dylan, he was a very, very focused on social change and continued to do social change music throughout his career after Bob had kind of went into other things. And he was extremely passionate about his feelings towards this country and towards progressive ideals, but he also was a poet. He had beautiful songs, and you're going to hear, I believe, 2 songs tonight. In fact, I think I perfectly timed. I believe the next performer is going to play a Phil Oakes song. And when you could find him on Spotify. You should listen to Phil Ochs, and you'll notice in his voice something about your dad's voice as well. Your dad had some of Phil Ochs's gentle qualities, but Phil Ochs was a very complex and ultimately tragic character, but a tremendous folk singer who left some great songs. And I'm sure that David and Jenny could add some more to that now about Phil Ochs.
Yeah, that was a good segue because we were going to do a Phil Ochs song. We have known Ray for a long time, not as long as some people here, but we realized that over 30 years. And I think, like some other people mentioned, we might have first met him at the Open Circle at the Mermaid, but also at the Folk Factory. And one thing
through this Pasa and so many other things too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know a word that probably lots and lots of people have used about Ray is supportive. All of the ways that he supported other musicians and the whole, open mic thing that Debbie Ansel mentioned, and just the incredible things and having people on his radio show and doing those film things in his basement and everything.
Right.
But yeah, one of my memories of Ray is for when that is related to Phil Ochs is when we were involved in a Phil Ochs song night here in Philadelphia at the Unitarian Society in Germantown, and Ray and we went on Gene Shea's show to promote that, and we each sang some songs, and at the end then Ray was going to sing the song we're about to sing, which is Phil Ochs' song When I'm Gone. And he invited us to join him on it and sing harmony. And we gamely agreed and then realized we didn't know harmonies for it and kind of embarrassed ourselves. But typically of Ray, he was very generous and warm and didn't make us feel bad. But I think we've learned it a little bit better. But yeah, like Rob was just saying, Phil Ochs was a wonderful songwriter that did, a lot of incredible social justice songs. And we would, when Ray wasn't singing his own wonderful songs, I think the main person we remember him covering was Phil Ochs, and he did Phil Ochs songs so wonderfully. And Ray had such a beautiful voice and warm personality, and
so sing along from your muted
positions.
Yes.
And if you don't know this song, the phrase "When I'm Gone" happens many times, and you'll catch on. There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone, and I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. You won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
And I won't feel the flowing of the time
when I'm gone.
All the pleasures of love will not be mine
when I'm gone.
My pen won't pour a lyric line
when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I won't breathe the brandy air when I'm gone. And I can't even worry about my cares when I'm gone. Won't be asked to do my share when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
And I won't be running from the rain when I'm gone. And I can't even suffer from the pain when I'm gone. Say who's to praise and who's to blame
when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Won't see the golden of the sun when I'm gone, and the evenings and the mornings will be one when I'm gone. Can't be singing louder than the guns when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
All my days won't be dances of delight
when I'm gone,
and the sands will be shifting from my sight
when I'm gone.
Can't add my name into the fight
when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be laughing
lies when I'm gone. And I can't question how or when or why when I'm gone. Can't live proud enough to die when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it. I guess I'll have to do it. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, we have another performer coming up. It's somebody that Jen and I know pretty well. He works with us at Gaslight Productions. He finds us, we have a common love for senior citizens, and he helps us perform for them. So that being said, I will give you Randy Shupp. Randy Shupp.
Unmute yourself, Randy.
Randy
Shupp.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to do a Steve Goodman song, and I think that is so appropriate for, well, somebody, Rusty and Jan just did a John Prine song. I don't think anybody's done a Steve song yet. It's actually a song written by Pete Seeger, but performed so beautifully by Steve Goodman. You know, Steve Goodman was at the folk festival so many times. I saw him there. And it just so happens that a good friend of mine from high school was sort of instrumental in Steve making a big splash in Chicago, where he came from. And he ran a nightclub called Hobson's Choice, where Steve performed, where John Prine performed, Ann Hills. People that hung out there were people like Studs Terkel. It was a very cool scene. And my friend Rich, who passed away recently, was really important to all this. Oh, Michael Smith. Let me not forget Michael Smith, he of Sister Calersa and other fabulous songs. So I'm going to do The Water is Wide. The water is wide, and I can't cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. There is a ship, and she sails the sea. She's loaded deep, as deep can be, but not as deep as this hole I'm in, and I know not if I sink or swim. Well, love is gentle, and love is kind, and love is young, and love is new. Love grows cold as it grows old, till it fades away like the morning dew. And the water is wide, and I can't cross over, neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roll, my love and I, and both shall roll. My love and I.
Beautiful.
Well done, Brandy.
Yeah,
well
yeah.
done.
Beautiful song, no matter who does it. That's a great song.
Traditional song.
Yes.
It is traditional. Yes.
Well, we have another folk fester, a guy who I used to see all the time, coming up next. But he doesn't know how to play the guitar right. He lays it on his lap. He doesn't realize you have to hold it up against your body. So, with that being said, maybe we'll be able to help out this guy. His name Pat Wichter.
Well, just for your benefit tonight, Rusty, I'm going to play it in a way that's more, what you're acquainted with. So, I'm just so struck hearing all the stories about Ray that there's I'm getting the picture of someone who lived a good life, lived it with generosity, lived it with a spirit of selflessness and kindness towards others. And, that's what I experienced always from Ray. I met Ray when I was playing open mics at the Point, starting in, I believe, 2002. And he was just very generous and warm, and every time I crossed paths with him, which was pretty often at the Philly Folk Festival, at NERFA, and again, of course, in those open mics, I came to Philly a lot to do those open mics. So I guess I'll launch into the song. It looks like the spotlight is still on you all, Rusty and Jan. Would it be all right to move it to me?
It's actually on you. That's just your view, but I'll still pin you so that we make sure.
Then that's great. Beautiful. Then I'm going to launch into this. This is a song by Dave Carter, and it's called When I Go. I thought it's a good bookend to When I'm Gone and When I Go. And Dave Carter, of course, wrote this for his mother, but I think it's a great song just for to acknowledge the passing of anyone who meant something to us. Come, lonely hunter, chieftain and king, I will fly like the falcon when I go. Bear me, my brother, under your wing, I will strike, fell like lightning when I go. I will bellow like the thunder drum, invoke the storm of war, a twisting pillar spun up dust and blood up from the prairie floor. I will sweep the foe before me like a gale out on the snow, and the wind will long recount the story, reverence and glory when I go. Spirit dancer, nimble and thin, I will leap like coyote when I go. Tireless entrancer, lend me your skin, I will run like the gray wolf when I go. I will climb the rise at daybreak, I will kiss the sky at noon, raise my yearning voice at midnight to my mother in the moon. I will make the lay of long defeat and draw the chorus slow. I'll send this message down the wire and hope that someone wise is listening when I go. The sun comes trumpets from his red house in the east. He will find a standing stone where long I chanted my release. He will send his morning messenger to strike the hammer blow, and I will crumble down uncountable in showers of crimson rubies when I go. Sigh, mournful sister, whisper and turn. I will rattle like dry leaves when I go. Stand in the mist where my fire used to burn. I will camp on the night breeze when I go. And should you glimpse my wandering form out on the borderline between death and resurrection and the council of the pines, do not worry for my comfort, do not sorrow for me so. All your diamond tears will rise up and adorn the skies beside me when I go.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, Pat. Oh,
Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much for coming by tonight.
That was beautiful.
Stunning.
Well, that was wonderful music, Pat, and wonderful sentiment. We are, before we get into the final couple performers, one more opportunity here. If someone would like to say something about Ray, there we go. Yeah. See somebody poking up.
Yes,
that,
I would
key?
like to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Kathy Sullivan. I didn't know Ray very well. I met him either at spring or fall, spring thing or fall fling. And I came away with his CDs, which I love. I love his music. I mean, who doesn't like, please buy my CD? Isn't that great? And CDG, I mean, really, that's such a fabulous song. And you can't but not smile at Willie the bipolar polar bear. I mean, that title alone. But my favorite is, it's not fine dining, but the dining is fine. Talking about eating at a diner. So I just wanted to say how much I enjoy Ray's music and hearing everybody's stories tonight. You'll be missed, Ray. You are missed.
I am so glad that you mentioned that. We are going to get
Thank
a
you,
chance
Kathy.
yeah. That's
Can I say
Justin
something
from the
quick?
Folk Song Society.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say anything
can I
before
just
we?
say something real quick?
Yes, Alex.
Yeah.
And those two CDs you just showed, Kathy Sullivan, I believe one of them, I drew a picture of my dad and he put it on his CD. So that picture you see of him, I drew that, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Want to get some credit for his success.
Yeah, right. It's hard in this business.
Yes, it's very hard.
And if you don't promote yourself, nobody else will.
That's right. Well, Ray taught us that. Okay,
Right.
so what do we got?
So we have a treat. We weren't sure we'd get to hear from her tonight, but she really wants to play, and we really want to hear her share something for Ray now. It's Lisa Jeanette.
Can you hear me okay? You can? Okay, good.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting that. I met Ray in the early 90s, my first turn at trying to be a singer-songwriter. And then I got away from it for 20 years. And back then he was actually getting me gigs, and he just was so supportive of me. And I was just in the beginning stages. And then I didn't do anything for 20 years. And then about 5-6 years ago, I went back and there was Ray. It's like, it's like he was the, foundational thing that was still there 20 years later. And he's just always been so supportive, and I'm going to miss him. This song is a Ray Naylor song. It's called Beautiful to Me. When stars shine like diamonds on clear, dark nights, and the moon is full as a grin, it's easy to say that they're beautiful. My feelings fly free with the wind. When flowers in spring bloom like rainbows, and fields are covered with dew, it's easy to say that they're beautiful. I so wish to say this to you. When I stand by you, I get weak in the knees. My voice hesitates, I freeze, and I wait to say, you're so beautiful to me. It's easy to stand at a distance and feel all this love in my heart. But when you are near, my heart fills with fear. I give up before I start. When I stand by you, I get weak in the knees. My voice hesitates, I freeze, and I wait to say, you're so beautiful to me. Will the earth stop its spinning? Will the oceans flood the streams? What's the worst that can happen if I share with you my dreams? So here I stand beside you. There's still weakness in my knees, but I found some courage, and I'm in a hurry to say, I'm going to say, I'm here to say, you're so beautiful to me.
Lovely.
Beautiful as always.
Stunning song. Beautifully performed. Wow.
Stellar.
Yeah.
Well, we have another guy who's very instrumental in facilitating singer-songwriters and getting them to write songs and collaborate. And he does a lot in his own right for the average singer-songwriter. That's my friend over there. What's his name?
Rob Lincoln.
Rob Lincoln.
So thank you, Rusty and Jan. I want to talk about Ray for a couple minutes, if that's okay. First of all, if it wasn't for Ray, I wouldn't have known Lisa Jeanette. I met Lisa Jeanette at Ray's 70th birthday party and introduced her to PASA. Ray has done so much for so many people, but including the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance. We have one of our other co-chairs here as well, Christine Winchester. There she is. And, Ray from the very beginning was involved with us. And really was, Ray, Rusty reminded me, he was a pioneer. He was the first one to ever live stream any of us at the PASA events. He always did workshops, kind of took the lead on the technical innovations of the time, and was always there to add something to help our group of songwriters. But besides giving to others and besides all the other wonderful things, as you heard, Ray was a really good songwriter. Ray really was so humble. You forget that he wrote great songs. And, the last time I booked him, I think I booked him 6 different times for PASA over the years, maybe 7 or 8. And he said something like, "Thanks for continuing to book me." And like, absolutely. He, one of the things about songwriting is doing something that seems simple, that people can remember. And he was a genius at writing a simple song that people will remember. But he wasn't just writing funny songs, as you heard tonight. You heard 2 beautiful, passionate songs. He was a romantic. You could hear that in what Maura sang and what Lisa sang, and he had a lot of love. I get choked up sometimes. I'm sorry, but we've got to have something funny because Ray was funny. So Ray's funniest of his funny songs, probably DCG, with that, you never forget that line where he's going to stray in the devil's chord, the B minor. That was you never forget that line. I didn't really know Ray's songs to play. So when I heard, I didn't know Lisa was coming. When I heard there was only one Ray song, I quickly had to try to learn a Ray song. So I'm not going to sound as polished as some of the other performers tonight, since I started practicing this at 5:30. But this isn't one of his funniest songs. This is actually also a tender song of his, a love song. But when I printed the words out, I realized it's still funny as shit. I mean, it's there's some really funny lines in this one. And it's really catchy. It's a great song. It's called "It Don't Cost Nothing to Love." I don't know if it's on his Slow Cooker album, which is a great name for a debut album after 50 years, Slow Cooker. Or it might be under No Shrink Wrap. That was actually a very handy album because I finally didn't have to rip the shrink wrap off. But this is on one of those albums, and it's called "It Don't Cost Nothing to Love." And forgive me if I screw up on it. It don't cost nothing to love. It don't cost nothing to love. Got a tear in your eye 'cause your pocket is dry, but it don't cost nothing to love. My wallet is thin, it never wears out. Pickpockets leave me alone. My banker just grins whenever I'm in. He knows the money I've blown. But it don't cost nothing to love. It don't cost nothing to love. Got a tear in your eye 'cause your pocket is dry, but it don't cost nothing to love. I worked all my life, got nothing to show for the money that I've earned. I can't understand how it slips through my hand. In my hands, money just burns. But it don't cost nothing to love. It don't cost nothing to love. Got a tear in your eye 'cause your pocket is dry, but it don't cost nothing to love. Love don't cost, but it ain't free. But you don't need silver or gold. You just need a heart that never stops from the time that you're young to the time you're old. Cause it don't cost nothing to love. It don't cost nothing to love. Got a tear in your eye 'cause your pocket is dry, but it don't cost nothing to love. Nothing to love. nothing but love.
Yay.
Well done.
I love that line of the banker just grinning whenever he's in. Oh man, yeah. Ray was funny. Ray was really talented, and Ray did so much for all of us. And it was an honor to be part of this tonight. Thank you so much for coming. And Rusty's going to close it out now, I believe. Oh no,
Wait, no, we have one more performer.
How could I forget?
How could you
We are going to
forget?
have an incredible song now. I've done this to her more than once.
Oh, see that?
She is a great singer, and she is going to sing a great Phil Oakes song. Terry Camilleri. Terry, unmute yourself.
There you go.
There she is.
So I don't take it personally, Rob, that you just like to forget about me, but that's okay. I met Ray. Can everybody hear me? Yeah? Good. I met Ray at Burlap and Bean, Newtown Square, several years ago. And actually, Rob, the song that you just sang, he sang that night. And he sang a Phil Oakes song called When I'm Gone. And so they got both of those covered tonight. I have not been involved in the folk community for a very long time because most of my time when I was in high school, college was in theater. And so most of my music was focused on like musical theater. But I did get a Joan Baez cassette and a Walkman. This is in the 80s. And I heard this song and I thought, oh, that's the kind of song I would want to sing that really talks.
Somehow you're muted, hon. You're muted.
We
Unmute
can't hear you
yourself.
now.
Unmute yourself.
Terry, you muted yourself towards the end of what you were saying.
Okay, guys, I got it. I can't tell you that I hear you if I'm muted. So just let me know. Thanks. So anyhow, what I was saying was that when he started to talk about Phil Oakes, it really struck a chord with me because this was the song that made me start thinking maybe I want to pursue a different type of music. Then I got married, had a kid, life happens. But I was lucky enough to meet Ray, and he immediately made me feel like my music was important enough for him to take notice, which I really didn't expect because I was new to actually the singer-songwriter thing, as I said. But he did ask me to be on his performing songwriter, which I was very touched and humbled by because I know he only did 100. I was 86. And every time you turn around, he was helping. He knew when my CD was coming out. He contacted me and said, I want you to be on the radio and promote your CD. Even during the pandemic, he said, I usually don't do this, but I'm asking you to send me another copy of your CD because I want to play it during the pandemic on my radio show. He was just so giving. And this song by Phil Oakes, it's a little more serious, but it's about looking out and seeing that we can judge other people, but it could so easily be us in those positions. And it just says so much about Phil Oakes' point of view and the fact that he was Ray's favorite songwriter. It says also so much about Ray. Can you hear my guitar? Show me the prison. Show me the jail. Show me the prisoner whose life has gone stale. And I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There, but for fortune, go you and I, you and I. Show me the alley. Show me the train. Show me the hobo who sleeps out in the rain. And I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There, but for fortune, go you and I, you and I. Show me the whiskey stains on the floor. Show me the drunkard as he stumbles out the door. And I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There, but for fortune, go you and I, you and I. Ooh. Show me the country where the bombs had to fall. Show me the ruins of the buildings once so tall. And I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There, but for fortune, go you and I, you and I. There, but for fortune, go you and I, you and I. That's for Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Terry. Unforgettable. And I know that Rusty is going to have a few final words for us, but thank you all.
Well, I'm gonna close this out the best that I can. I wanted to mention that Susan is here with us tonight, and she's been able to hear all of your songs and all of your good wishes, and while it's very difficult for her to express herself, I think she'd be okay with the fact that I would say that she's very much appreciative of everything that everyone has said tonight and done tonight, and she wishes to give her thanks to all of you. The other thing I would say about Mr. Ray is I'm one of those midlife crisis folk singers. I'm one of those guys who got out there when I said, geez, if I'm going to do this, I better do this now. I'm not getting any younger. Fortunately, I found a young woman to help me, but that's another story. But I think that all of us have a very common tale in that we need to sing, we need to play, we need to write, we need to be out there, but we're scared. We're not kids anymore. We're not a Britney. We're something else. And sometimes we feel like, I just don't know if people would appreciate what I do anymore. I'm too old. I just don't have what I used to have. And we all go through that. And then we realize there's one guy doesn't even think that way. He's got all the confidence he needs. He shows up everywhere, and he shows us how to do it. And because of him, many of us are out there doing it. And it was through his example. So while we may feel the loss of the great Ray Naylor, we also continue to experience his greatness every time one of us steps up and gets behind the mic, because someone showed us, sure you can do this, look at me. And I look forward to hearing him again in all of your voices. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
And we're planning an event in the future where we'll have more details about it in the not too distant future, of a night just of Ray's music. So stay tuned for more information on that.
Yes, and because I'd like to do shameless plugs, please don't forget to listen to the Philly, what is it?
Philly folk scene.
The Philly folk scene every Thursday at 3 o'clock, and we'll see you there.
That's part of Ray's legacy. That was his show.
There you
it was
go.
part of Ray's legacy. It was his baby that we took over.
Jen and Rob, thank you.
Thank you all, you guys.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It was a beautiful evening.
Thank you so much, and all the best to Susan and Alex.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so
thanks
much
for
for coming and
us.
joining us.
Yeah. Okay.
I
love
think
you
we
all.
should end for the song.
Terry says
thank you too.
Yeah, he was
Thank you
able
for
to
the
see.
family.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Thank you, Mary.
Bye.
All right. We'll see you all later then.
All right. Thank
Take
you. Love
care.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.